Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirecTV 348, Sling, Roku, and Apple TV.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
I think this visit went well, Maggie. Do you have any sense?
They don't. No.
If they're waking up this morning happy about this?
Most people, well, they would, I suspect, not say that publicly, will privately admit that yesterday was something of a debacle, that these were not the headlines that they wanted to see. They wanted him to go in and behave differently. The goal was to have him go in and get out with making as little news as possible. He actually has done that in the past. He did it after Pittsburgh, where there was also controversy. After the synagogue shooting there, he was much more able to sort of stay calm. Yesterday, he couldn't stop watching television news where Democratic candidates were attacking him, and this is part of the process. I mean, it's to your point that there was no sort of visible presence of the federal government in a meaningful way as the shootings were taking place. And the day after, the president was at his club at Bedminster. He crashed a wedding that was taking place there. This is the kind of thing that any president would have been criticized for, Barack Obama, George W. Bush. But this president reacts very poorly to criticism, and he lashed out.
I know nothing.
Yeah, he knows nothing. Can we just ban him from ever attending any place where empathy is, something that you would want? Can we just ban him from all national tragedies and just, downshift into solving our own problems by electing a different party? Could we just do that? Because I think we know who's for gun control. I think we understand who's for background checks. And that would be 90% of us. And by us, I mean the U.S., all of us. This is crazy. This is absolute madness. So the White House thinks he failed miserably in Dayton. They think he failed miserably in El Paso. They think it was a debacle. And it was. This little girl whose parents were taken away. I tweeted out this video. 1 million people did. It's heartbreaking. It's like a WTF moment. No, seriously, it's like WTF, people. What are we doing? Right? And I tweeted this out, and people, you're exploiting children. I'm exploiting children. It's apparently too much reality for people that is seeping into this fantastical world of the 2-minute hate that they live in with Donald Trump as their guide through, fake proclamations and racism and hatred and blaming others for what, corporate America has done to working Americans. It's just like so unbelievable. So I just want to compare and contrast a bit here, okay? This apparently is too much reality for Trumpanzees.
For the parents, I'm stuck over there in jail. I'm not gonna have nothing. It's my first day of school for me. My dad bought everything for me to live over here. The rent, and I don't know what I'm gonna eat. And I'm so hungry right now. I need my dad for me. My dad didn't do nothing. He's not a criminal. So the governments, please put your heart. Let my parents be free with everybody else, please. Don't leave the child with cryness and everything.
Okay, if that didn't upset you, if that didn't move you, if that didn't hurt your soul, then you don't have one. But apparently that's too much reality for the Trumpanzees. However, let's compare her grief, which was brought on by Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's reaction to grief that was brought on by Donald Trump in El Paso. Watch this.
I've been talking to a hospital official at El Paso's University Medical Center, and I'm told none of the 8 patients who were on hand for the president's visit wanted to meet Mr. Trump. Quote, some didn't want any visitors, the official said, before adding, and some did not want to meet the president. We've confirmed 2 patients who had been discharged were brought back to the hospital to meet with the president. CNN has learned one of those patients was the 2-month-old baby who was shielded by his parents during the shooting. That baby has been identified as the child of Jordan and Andre Anchondo, who died protecting him. According to the hospital official, the president displayed a, quote, absence of empathy during his visit. That hospital official went on to say the president made other comments similar to his remarks about former Congressman Beto O'Rourke that left some staffers thinking Mr. Trump was not focused enough on consoling people. That hospital official went on to say about these patients who are being cared for at University Medical Center, quote, the stories and retelling of their experience at that Walmart will chill you to your core and break your heart.
So Trump is posing with an infant whose parents, plural, were shot to death, making that little 2-month-old baby an orphan. And Trump had that infant, that orphan baby, brought back to the hospital so that he could pose with it and give a thumbs up and smile. And at the exact same time he was posing with a thumbs up and smiling with this poor orphaned infant, his stormtroopers, his deportation force, were in Mississippi coming between even more parents and their innocent children. I mean, he is targeting, working families, and by targeting, I mean in every way that you could conceive. If you think about, all this grief that Donald Trump has caused, especially this with posing with an orphan baby. Oh my God, who's exploiting babies? But in this sense, this baby was orphaned because of Donald Trump's targeting of Mexicans. And so in that sense, it's the president posing with the prey. It's like Donald Trump Jr. could relate. Do you know what I mean? It's like the baby was protected from a shooter who was targeting people that Donald Trump told him to target. It's like a photo of a hunter posing with their prey. This is the sickest man, I hope, in our country. I doubt it. But he is, you want to hear? Okay, so check this out. This is proof positive that Donald Trump is literally causing murder and mayhem. Literally causing it. There is a new defense now that criminal attorneys across the country are using. I know you know the story. Do you know the story of the a man? His name's Curt Brockway. Probably doesn't ring a bell, but he's the guy from Montana who is accused of throwing a 13-year-old boy to the ground, fracturing his skull at a rodeo in Montana, because the 13-year-old boy didn't know he was supposed to take his hat off during the playing of the National Anthem. Maybe he was following the rules for active military. I don't know. If you're active military, you don't take your hat off during the playing of the National Anthem. Just saying. Different rules for different roles. Anyway, this man who threw this 13-year-old boy to the ground fractured his skull in a fit of rage because the little boy did not take his hat off during the playing of the National Anthem has entered his defense. Here it is. He believes he was acting on an order by the commander-in-chief. No, I'm not kidding. His name is Curt Brockway. He's a U.S. Army veteran, and his lawyer wrote to the court that this man believed he was acting on an order by the commander-in-chief. Now, here's a little detail you need to know. Mr. Brockway has suffered a traumatic brain injury because he was in a car crash in 2000. And so he believes, as a former U.S. Army veteran, quote, his commander-in-chief is telling people that if they kneel, they should be fired, or if they burn a flag, they should be punished. He certainly did not understand that throwing the boy to the ground was a crime. He believed he was following orders from his commander-in-chief.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
to the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.